Come on, guys. We love momentum over here, okay? Because right now you have momentum in a cycle that isn't serving you. Procrastination isn't serving you. Second guessing yourself is not serving you. Yet that is where all of your momentum is. Right? Okay. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Raven Lucretia, and today we will be talking about shifting your mindset from victim to victor and reclaiming your inner authority. Now, I know off bat that language can be a little spicy, yeah? But here on Self Reclamation, one of the pillars that we live by is radical honesty. The way to reshape your inner dialogue, to the way to reclaim your self-concept is to be radically honest, right? To call out the narratives that do not align, to call out the concepts that you abide by that do not align. And more importantly, the ones that if you say out loud to someone, you can even feel energetically how it could tear you down, how it could be the reason why you're stuck in a loop, the reason why you feel behind, the reason why you feel so down on yourself. So today we're going to be talking about how you can reclaim your power, how you can reassert yourself to take action without waiting for permission, without waiting for some perfect thing to happen or transpire for you to do. I'm going to take you through a couple of steps, action steps that you can implement and integrate today to help you build momentum and also cultivate self-trust, right? Inner authority is all about self-trust, and that is a skill. If you've gone through most of your life doubting yourself, second guessing yourself, that is what you have cultivated. That's the momentum you have built. So to build it on the opposite end of the spectrum and be someone who trusts themselves, that takes practice. So another pillar that I need y'all to get real comfy with is getting your reps in. Because over here, I'm not telling you any magic pills. There's no a little magic you can do and all of a sudden you're this person that you see yourself to be. You have to put in the work. And putting in the work is all about self-love. The work itself is a form of self-love. So reclaiming all of that and knowing that you're worth it, let's get right into it. So the mindset shift. So shifting your mindset from external validation to inner authority is so vital, especially for those of us who struggle with making decisions, right? Maybe we're back and forth, we're always second guessing ourselves. Maybe you're someone who procrastinates, right? Maybe you're guilty of being a perfectionist, and maybe being a perfectionist has done right by you. However, you get caught in a loop of like, oh, I want this to be great. I want this to be so fantastic, so incredible. And baby, by step one, you're burnt out and you gave up and you haven't touched it in 3 months. I don't mean to call you out like that. But baby, we're reforming that, we're reclaiming that, and that's okay. That's okay. Let's acknowledge that we have narratives that keep us stuck. That while a lot of times it is real that we have external limitations, it is real, right? Finances, what comes in, the income you have, right? The living arrangement that you have, those are real things, right? That can impact the action you take, the beliefs you have. But then on a bigger scale, on a bigger scale, the momentum that we cultivate within our energetic body, that happens all internally, right? Those are our beliefs. That's the momentum, the narratives that we have that lead us to take action. That's all on us, right? There's no external anything that influences that. So focusing on or grounding yourself back into what is in my power is so vital. Because if you are someone who is ready to tap into their fullest potential being, well, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but there's this passion I have, this goal I have, and I keep dropping the ball. I start, but then I stop, or I get distracted easily. Reclaiming your inner authority, being able to reassert your focus is so vital. And that is the difference from shifting your mindset from external validation, having your external world be the pusher, the igniter to your actions or the actions you don't take, right? If you're listening to this, you're ready to stop all that and take action yourself. So I want to jump in a little bit to why inner authority is so important and why it is a skill that can help you shift from inaction to taking action. So I'm going to go over just a couple of gems of what it means to have inner authority, right? So without inner authority, you may be someone who constantly seeks approval, right? You overthink, you doubt your choices. However, if you're someone who has, or you're looking to cultivate stronger inner authority, you begin to trust your decisions, right? You value your own perspective. You know that there's many perspectives out there, but baby, you understand that going inward and reflecting on what it is you want, your values, that's a big one. That's another video, but knowing your values, knowing what your purpose, passion is, or what you want to pour into with passion is key. Is key. Another example of what it looks like to have or to lack inner authority versus having it is you procrastinate. Maybe you hesitate on taking action because you're constantly going back and forth, if not with others, because of seeking external validation, you're going back and forth with yourself because you don't trust yourself. That inner authority, meaning I have the authority to make a decision, and I also respect my process to help me gain clarity on making a decision. Breaking it down like that reminds us that there may be a need for a process for some of us. Some of us, okay, if you just make a decision, you cool with it, and you great, okay? But defining a process that allows you to feel confident. Like, what is it that you need to know to make a decision confidently? What is it that you need to have in front of you or to deliberate over in order for you to make a decision that you can feel grounded in? You need to know that, right? Like that's a way to empower yourself also, is if you have a framework. And mind you, this framework is one that you can create yourself. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to ask anybody for this, right? What do you need to feel secure in your decision making, right? Inner authority aligns with that, helps you to align with that. So that's why in this video, we're talking about it and getting into detail of how it shows up, because in being able to acknowledge when you feel grounded in your inner authority, you're able to take action without permission from others. You're no longer waiting for something else to happen to go forward, right? I recently had a new experience where I could tell I have been doing the work to heal the trust I have with myself, because I proclaimed out loud, hey, this month I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And baby, when I said it, I felt this flutter in my stomach because it was a flutter of like, oh, it's happening. Because if I say it, it ain't just some wish. It ain't just me hoping. I don't do that no more. You know what I mean? I understand that doubt is real. However, I'm also capable. Am I not? Am I not doing the work to show up? Am I not doing what I need to be successful in whatever it is I want to conquer or achieve? This is what we're working on. This is how we build it. So, now that we have identified what inner authority looks like and why it's so valuable, why we're seeking this. So I'm not just throwing this out there just to say, hey, this is something else to work on. Inner authority is the basis of confidence. Okay? People who are confident respect their own authority. They move how they want to move because that's how they want to move. They don't need anyone telling them, oh, I think you should switch it up. Or, you're going for that? I think you should go for... They have decided themselves. They have identified their own, what they value, what is important to them, right? So having a true understanding and being grounded in what it means to respect and know your inner authority is like having your own compass, your inner compass, right? So how can we start to bridge the gap? If you're someone who right now, today, you overthink, you doubt yourself often, you're ready to bridge the gap and take more action. You want to sit less in the debating stage, right? You want to sit less in the, oh my goodness, I'm procrastinating. I said I wanted to take action on this 10 days ago and I'm still not doing it. And you want to get to, all right, I said I'm going to do it. The next day you're taking action. This is how you do it. So first, I want you to identify the inner narratives that keep you stuck. What narratives do you have right now that limit you, that suck out your power? What are the narratives that replay in your mind that make you doubt, that make you procrastinate? I need you to identify them precisely as you can. I mean, if you can pause the video if you need to, so you can meditate and reflect on the last time you wanted to take action, but totally was redirected by doubt or redirected by comfort. That's another thing too. That's a whole nother video, because a lot of times these narratives are rooted in our desire to be comfortable, right? You taking action, trusting your inner authority is all about trusting the unknown and your ability to navigate in the unknown, right? And your ability to readjust as you need to as you go along, right? Nothing about that is comfortable. Let's keep it real. Ain't nothing about that comfortable, right? So acknowledging, with having that in mind, maybe that too can help you identify the narratives that are subtle, the narratives that don't sound like procrastination, but are, right? Maybe it sounds like, well, I'm not ready just yet. Like, I have the skills to do this project, but this is my favorite. I need to freshen up on these skills. I need to get this other workshop in me so I could feel really ready, really prepared. Or I can't start school yet because I don't know what I want to do totally in that field. I know the field, but I don't know exactly what I want to do, so I'm not going to start. Now, maybe you're on the other side of this video saying, well, I can come up with some reasons why that's valid. I'm sure you can. But the point is, what is making you procrastinate? What is making you not take action? What keeps you in inaction? What are the narratives you tell yourself that sound like they're helpful, that sound like they're preparing you, but you know in your core, and maybe it's not a deep knowing, but maybe you've gotten like an inkling that has told you, am I just wasting time? Am I scared? Am I really operating off of fear, and that's why I'm not taking action? I need you to get deep. Get deep, honey. Truly self-reflect in this moment about what are those narratives? What are you telling yourself? What do they sound like? How do they make you feel in the moment? And again, the basis of this reflection time is to ask yourself what takes you from taking action to all of a sudden there's no action, or maybe you never get to action and it's all inaction. Identify those narratives. That's step one. Step two is all about curating rules, inner rules that help you to stay in alignment with valuing your inner authority. So what I mean when I say scripting rules. So an example of this is, maybe you have identified from our first step, right? You've identified, I overthink. The narrative that comes to mind that keeps me stuck is that I overthink. I think that I'm not ready. I think that I don't have the resources that I need. I think that I'm not capable. I just overthink. And now all of a sudden I doubt myself and I second guess. That's the narrative that keeps you stuck, right? Okay. Now that we've identified that clearly, maybe you even took it a step further and you know exactly when that narrative pops up. You know the triggers that ignite that narrative. Even better if you could do that, right? But now that we've identified that narrative, now let's set a rule. Because right now that narrative is running wild. There's no barriers, right, for that narrative. That narrative gets to come into your energetic body and wreak havoc. It gets to have its way with you. It gets to tell you about yourself, tell you lies about yourself, saying, oh yeah, you're not ready. I guess too, also what I'm saying in this is that these narratives that cripple you, these narratives that make you second guess or procrastinate, are they really of you? Because would you really want to be against yourself? Sit on that, because and me pointing that out is in hopes that it creates some distance between you and that narrative, recognizing that that narrative is not you, that is not your identity, right? When thinking of self-preservation, that's a spiritual law, right? We all have an inner will that will preserve our life force, right? If that is true, why would a part of this life force, a voice inside of us, tell us things that keep us from things that are for our highest good, right? I hope you're getting curious about this, right? Like getting curious about the narratives that come into your mind and kind of redirect you and distract you and get you all delusion from the truth. Get curious about them. But okay, we've gotten curious about them. I'm bringing it back, right? The second step is you're creating a rule for it, right? The rule being, okay, every time that I overthink, because I know when I overthink, I start doubting myself. I start to doubt my skills, X, Y, and Z. Okay. The rule you create for yourself is an example being, every time that I doubt, for example, a decision I make, every time that I doubt like what to do, the rule is I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to deliberate. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to do some reflection or some research, whatever it is I need to feel confident in the decision making process. But that's what I'm giving myself, as opposed to going a whole day mulling over something and then allowing doubt to infiltrate and make me second guess. I'm going to shorten the window. And that's my rule. So every time doubting a decision comes up, all right, well, 10 minutes, I'm going to give myself that. And then after that, I'm making a decision. Now, For those of you who struggle to make decisions, that may feel like, whoa, 10 minutes. I usually give myself a week. Baby step it, right? So if it's not 10 minutes, do something that is reasonable, but challenge yourself. Because the purpose of cultivating this skill is to be challenged, right? It's recognizing that if you are someone who feels stuck, if you're someone who procrastinates, who second guess themselves, you're in a bubble during those times. You're in your comfort zone during those times. In order for you to get out of your comfort zone, you have to be uncomfortable. I know that it is not easy. I know that a lot of times it is not ideal, but I hope that you can start to cultivate a sense of safety within yourself, to know that you are safe, to make effort towards authentic alignment, whatever that means for you, right? That you are in control. So to fully embody a sense of authority over your life, right? Feeling confident in your authority too. It takes these small steps, right? It takes you identifying, okay, I'm feeling confident, but then I'm thrown off. Okay, what's throwing you off? What is the narrative? What is the script that you have playing on repeat in your head? Identify it. I mean, get granular with it. I need you to know details about that narrative, because in order for you to rewrite it, you have to be aware of the energy it's bestowing on you, right? And setting rules, right? Because that's this two part of this video, is that you identify the narratives and then you create rules for yourself that help keep you in alignment. Because when those narratives come up, they allow you to run blindly, in a sense, right? Because those narratives take over and they take authority. For you to reclaim your own authority, start to implement some rules and regulations. You know what I mean? Lay down the law. Okay? Like that is the gist of this. That is what I could have said in the first 2 minutes in this video could have been done. Cuz lay down the law. Lay down the law. Start small, right? And start small, and you may begin to surprise yourself that in setting a rule, you actually take better action. Let me really talk to those people who, when they have a healthy amount of pressure, healthy pressure being like, hey, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and it's within these confines, and this is the expectation. Now you have more clarity, right? Now you feel more purposeful in your action because you know what you're doing, you know what's expected, you know what the layout is, etc., right? Same thing. When we don't have inner clarity and we're running off of narratives that keep us stuck, keep us second guessing ourselves, keeping us in lack, naturally we're gonna feel disconnected from any sense of authority within ourselves. So I pray that from this video you got 2 action steps that you can implement today to help you gain clarity in the action you want to in the steps you want to take action on, right? To help you identify, okay, if I want to become someone who works out, okay, what narrative stops you? You've identified it? Okay. All right. So that narrative, did you identify the language and how it makes you feel? Okay, good. Okay. And then now, what is one small change or one small rule you can implement that will take you from inaction to action? One small step. That's all you need. Once you have identified that, you will begin to create momentum. Come on, guys. We love momentum over here, okay? Because right now you have momentum in a cycle that isn't serving you. Procrastination isn't serving you. Second guessing yourself is not serving you. Yet that is where all of your momentum is. Right? Okay. Cuz I know you're here with me. I know that you're it's resonating, right? Because you're so over being stuck or being stuck in a cycle. And this is how we begin to eliminate those cycles. This is how we close cycles. Period. So, let me know down in the comments, what narratives are you rewriting? What narratives are you ready to release? And then what is that one small rule, that one small shift that you're going to make in that narrative that's going to take you from inaction to action? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. Share with the community, because also that is so beneficial in rewriting scripts, to rewriting who you want to be when you see other people doing it too. Knowing that this inner work is hard, but it's possible and it's gratifying, and you will surprise yourself where you can take yourself, how you can evolve, how you can transform just by you being intentional with your thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing space with me today. I look forward to sharing more gems with you guys. If you have any questions or any topics you want to explore with me, let me know in the comments. I love y'all so much. Bye.